Hi, I'm Sug.
And I'm Dan.
This is the Demystified Zone.
A conversation about North Korea, who is watching my every move.
First off, be honest. Have you ever broken the law?
Yeah, every day when I'm driving, I break the speed limit.
Let me
usually.
rephrase. What is the worst law that you've broken?
Oh, all right. College. There was this.
Wait, is this going to incriminate you though in any way? Because we gotta,
I think
we gotta keep this podcast going. Is someone to come get you?
I think the statute of limitations is way, way long gone. For this one, Dan in college.
Okay, hope our lawyers will check that for us. We got lawyers here, right? Ton of lawyers back here somewhere.
Ton of suits back there. Yeah. In college, my friends convinced me to go to this like club, and one of us was underage. Like, you had to be 19 to get into the club, and so two of us.
What was the name of the club?
C Street.
C Street? This is in Champaign-Urbana?
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's too old for me. You sure that was a club? That wasn't a bar?
That was a club, for sure. It was a club.
Okay.
So two of us walked in. I looked like myself, and the other guy who we both walked in. I gave my ID to my friend.
Okay.
Walked out and gave it to our other friend, who's like a really skinny Asian kid. And we're like, no one could tell the difference. They did.
Of course.
And,
of course.
They
we got the
called...
Asian flair going on, the Asian youth. I got carded like last week in Orlando. I'm
you
like
did?
40 years old. Yeah.
So they pulled us into the back room, called the cops on us, and I had my license suspended because of that for like 2 years. It was like a serious thing.
Okay, so you were above 19, and is your ID that you gave to him, and that's why you got in trouble.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I swear by this.
This was on the college campus? What kind of lame club is this? Cracking down on the college campus kids.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I swear they had to like, my friends had to coax me into this plan. I was like, I don't want to do this, man. I just didn't want to go to a club. I'm not like that type of guy to this day.
No.
So, yeah. So they like forced me, like, come on, Dan, you got to do it. And I'm like, fine. And then we get in trouble. Yeah.
Did you give them like a really good, I told you so, to your friends?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember. It was really bad.
Well, if I can be honest, I was expecting something a little juicier than just underage drinking. But
It wasn't even drinking involved.
Fake ID.
It was just fake ID. It was like, using my ID.
Did you go to the police station, or was it just like a ticket?
It was a ticket. And then the reason why, it is so boring, but the reason why it was 2 years, because on top of this, we had a court date, which my friend who had the tickets, he said, I got this, Dan. We still had to go to court together. He slept through our court date. So I was sitting at court. I didn't even have the tickets. And the judge is like, yeah.
Our justice system doing its job right there. Nailing the Asian kids, trying to sneak into those clubs.
Sneak in the club.
Well done, Lady Justice.
You know who you are, friend. We're still friends.
We don't do that. Come on, we don't want to shame our friends and viewers here, okay? It's okay. We forgive you, friend. You didn't know any better. You were 19.
He was
or
18.
18. Okay.
Terrible.
Okay. Well, I was hoping for something a little juicier than that.
Oh, I could make something up if you want.
I'm sure you could. I was hoping for some like imprisonment in North Korea as you were trying to smuggle out some refugees or something, but clearly that has not happened, which I'm glad that this didn't happen to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, every time I went into China, I was technically breaking the law.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, isn't that breaking? I guess that's not a U.S. law though. That's international law.
Yeah, and there was one time where I was at the border of China and North Korea on the China side, and we were like thinking of investing in a farm that's right on the border so that we can like right when the refugees cross help them, so we'd have land or access to that land. Well,
Sorry, this is the border of China and
North Korea.
Okay.
So I'm checking it out, and all of a sudden I was surrounded by like 8 Chinese soldiers with machine guns.
Just for looking at the property?
I don't know exactly what the suspicion was. They just thought maybe that we looked fishy. Maybe. Do you think I look fishy? I don't know. Do I have a sneaky look?
Well, apparently, as time has told us, you do look suspicious since you got busted at C Street.
At C Street.
So maybe you do. You got a little suspicious look.
So yeah, they surrounded me, and they were like, the scariest part was, they're like, do you have a computer on you? And I just happened to bring my laptop with me that day. And it had all of my crossing borders emails on it, all of my files on there. And they just
before the cloud.
This was before the cloud.
No, before cloud.
And yeah, they looked through my iPhoto, and it was just pictures of my kids, and they're like, okay. It was.
But this was Chinese guys, not North Korean soldiers, obviously.
Yeah, Chinese guys.
It would have been much worse if it was North Korean soldiers.
It would have been really bad because that means I would have snuck into North Korea. Which
yes.
I'm not that crazy.
And you would have broken many of the North Korean laws, which we're about to get into today. So that if you haven't surmised yet, we are going to go into the laws of the land, of the motherland, North Korea. So we've had this conversation on the side before about like through different things of like the oddities of the laws in North Korea.
Yeah.
And some of them, obviously, all of them very serious. Some of them are not as serious as others, but most of them are very serious. And yeah, Mike, if you can get that first link out, I just want to go through this. So we're gonna just start. We'll start with like, let's just ease our way into this. So
okay.
There's the comfortable ones, like, or not comfortable, I should say. The ones that are familiar.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I went through this before we got together here, and like right away, somebody's like, yeah, okay, I've heard that, and I can see that, or at least through something, whether through the news or something, I've heard of this law. So let's go through the familiar ones first. Okay. So first, this is clear because we did an episode on this. Thank you. No foreign movies, songs, anything foreign, pop culture related, not allowed.
Technically.
What do you mean by that, technically?
I mean, but everyone has.
Sure. Everyone's breaking the law.
Yeah.
These are the laws. We're just going to go through the laws,
like
whether people are breaking or not.
It's like the speed limit.
Yeah. Suggestion versus an actual.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So that's the one that we all know. Okay. Another obvious one. Not allowed to leave the country. If you're a Korean citizen, North Korean citizen, not allowed to do it. By the way, I just want to tag on here that most of the penalties, as I was looking through this, is pretty much death. It's just it goes from 0 to 60 in nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. It's so. Yeah.
It's
so
beyond
crazy.
ludicrous mode.
Yeah.
If we're driving Teslas here, right?
Thanks for
It goes
clarifying that.
really crazy. All these, just assume that if you break any of these laws, North Korea's judicial system cannot take you to death. Pretty much. There's no slap on the wrist here.
There's no trial either, by the way.
Yes, that too.
If someone rats on you, they're taking you straight to jail, man.
Yes, there's no
it's crazy
burden of proof either. It's just
there's no due process, none of that.
Exactly. Okay, so just for our listeners, and you're like, let's just be clear. That's why I'm not going into the actual. Just assume that is the punishment. So, foreign movies, music, punishment, camps, or death. Yep. Not allowed to leave the country. You get caught leaving the country, or if you're unfortunate enough to have returned after you leave the country or brought back, same deal. Making international calls.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one. Making, dialing +1 to get to the U.S. They're going to get you for that.
Well, it's actually impossible to do that from their phones. It's like a intra-office phone system almost, where you can't get an outside line. I'm sure there's ways you can hack it, where you might need that law, but
you can't.
It's just impossible.
Like what we used to do back. For those of you who grew up without cell phones, the 1-800-COLLECT little you dial, and then when they ask who it is, you say, "Help me, get out of here!"
Pick me up at the library.
Pick me up. Don't accept these charges, Bob.
Oh, those are the days.
You can't do that.
I'm
in North Korea in concentration camp. Get me out of here.
No, you can't do
collect
that.
call. Okay. All right. Moving on. This is another obvious one. The Bible's banned, and also other religious books. I'm not sure. They weren't very specific in terms of which religious books, but basically anything with like a structure for hope and salvation sounds like it's not.
Well, that and, Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea, is a god in North Korea. And so if you bring another god, introduce another god.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Bible, religious propaganda or references not allowed.
No good.
I'm assuming this was more modern. No iPhones. Specifically said no iPhones or laptops. I'm assuming they mean smartphones, but no iPhones or laptops.
I didn't know that.
No real explanation except that it leads to death or encampment or death. No marijuana.
Wow.
But apparently it grows pretty rampantly out there in the wild. That's what this article...
Is it like a weed?
It is a weed.
Yeah.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
But apparently it's also not an issue, especially when, you and I were talking about cocaine factories and opium factories. So I guess, there's no gateway drugs here or need for gateway drugs here.
Well,
I don't even want to call that a gateway drug.
At one point, meth was so abundant in North Korea that they would people would gift each other meth. So marijuana, okay, but I'm pretty sure that North Koreans our drug use in North Korea is relatively in wide use. Yeah.
Well, they're not using marijuana. That's for sure.
Okay, so specifically marijuana.
Specifically marijuana, outlawed. Right. Can't have it.
But you could give each other meth, I guess.
That you can gift each other meth, not marijuana.
Okay.
All right, some of these I'm going to gloss over. There's a lot of laws, obviously. But I'm going to get to some more of the serious ones that we know. Okay, so permission. This one's a little odd. Permission. You need permission to live in the nation's capital.
Yes.
You can't just look for an apartment and move in. You have to be told you can move in. Yeah, Pyongyang is like the center. It's not at the center of North Korea, but it is in the sense that everyone wants to get in, and only the elite. Mm-hmm. And by elite, I mean people whose bloodline is pure. So if like Muggles and like purebloods, that kind of thing. I guess so. Mudbloods. Yeah, because if they know that a family member generations ago helped the South Korean army during the war, or were friendly with the Japanese during occupation, that is no good. You will never be able to live in Pyongyang. Yeah, okay. I'm glad you brought that up, because that comes to my next one, which is part of the law, is the 3-generation punishment. Yeah, crazy. So basically what this says is if anyone commits a crime in North Korea, not only he or she will be punished, but also their grandparents, parents, and children. Yes. That is crazy. It goes ahead of you and behind you. Yep. All angles. Bam, you get nailed. Oh my gosh, that's insane. So, people who escaped North Korea, that's what they were afraid of. Oh, man. So, I didn't think about that. It's like a hostage situation, right? It is. Like, if you're caught, we got a gun to
your
Yes.
family's head, so you better not,
Oh my gosh,
it'll
I
make
didn't
it
think
even
about that.
harder to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes, like getting people at their weakest, which is like their loved ones.
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean, so this is a law for those out there. It's a 3-generation rule. Your grandparents was dead.
And I think it was the refugee Joseph Kim. He wrote a book. I think he was born in a prison camp, or he spent his childhood there, and his family was sent to a prison camp, I believe, and they didn't even know why they were there. They were like tortured and made to do all these things, and they had no idea even why they were there.
So it was like the sins of the grandfather, or
Or
the father's, great grandfather, maybe even.
perhaps, yeah.
Wow,
It's crazy.
So yeah, that one's brutal. That one's a tough one. And then this one also, makes sense. I understand why it's here, but its definitions are a little loose, or it can be widely interpreted as disloyalty to the leader.
Yeah.
Which is basically a catch-all for anything else
For
they might have missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to give a ridiculous example. I understand this is going to sound ridiculous to us, but it is real and it happened. This is falling asleep during a meeting with Kim Jong-un, or any great leader in the past, is considered disloyalty to the leader and may lead to the death penalty.
That's crazy.
If you fall asleep while this guy's talking in one of his hour-long speeches, probably more in some cases.
But to be honest, from everything I read about Steve Jobs, he would have given you the death penalty too if you fell asleep on him. He wouldn't let you eat during the meeting and stuff. Anyway,
he would have gotten you another way. But come on, this is like straight up. They take you out the back, and if you start nodding off, which would be terrible for me because I am terrible at sitting through any lecture of any sort. It doesn't matter how interesting it is. It would be trouble for me. And it said, according to reports in 2015, the North Korean Defense Minister Hyun Yong-chol was gunned down by an anti-aircraft fire in front of 100 people for behavior such as falling asleep in Kim Jong-un's.
It's always in front of people.
But gunned down by anti-aircraft fire.
Yeah, and anti-aircraft. They
flew him up in the air and they shot him down.
No, I could be wrong. I just assumed that they used those huge guns on the guy and he was standing
on him.
On him, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I believe that's how he killed his uncle too.
With anti-aircraft guns?
Yeah, just use a gun, man.
Why are you blowing this guy up with a missile?
It's the spectacle of it. It's
oh my gosh!
That's why they have people watching to make an example.
Jeez,
crazy.
Okay. Well, you should just be glad that you were not carded in North Korea, because they would have.
I would not
anti-aircraft
lived to tell about it for sure.
For sure. Okay, well, all right. So those are the ones that there's some other ones here. They're not really laws, I guess, just things that are done that, they cut the power every night. Do you know about that? So to save on energy, obviously the resources are very scarce there. They're cutting the power every night. This one's a little bit ridiculous to me too. Is there's only one person to vote for in the election. There's only one name on the ballot, which is obviously Kim Jong-un's name.
Yeah.
And everyone has to vote.
Everyone has to vote.
This is rigged. Popularity, I don't know. Maybe it makes him feel better. I don't know. There's only one name.
Well, the North Korea's official name is DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, right? So, yeah. So that's what they could say, and they could say yes every single time that Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, Kim Il-sung was in a landslide election. I wonder the person who has to count those ballots. And is it like a nail biter ever?
No, you know what the nail biter is when he finds that one write-in.
The one right.
He's like, oh my, come on, let's put this in. As soon as he puts that to the left, here comes the anti-aircraft weapons.
Right on that person.
Oh my gosh.
There's no Ronald McDonald write-in or whoever. Yeah.
Yes, no write-ins. Next time anyone wants to complain about our voting and whatever position you have on that, just remember this.
Yeah, exactly.
One guy only.
There's only one choice.
But you have to vote. Everyone has to vote too. There's no like, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for the next election.
There's no low voter turnout in
You got it. That guy counting is going to be like, there better be 1,000 in here in this pile. If there's not 1,000, here come the anti-aircraft weapons.
Yeah, it's it's crazy.
All right, that is a little ridiculous. This is also a little ridiculous too. Citizens are not allowed to have the same name as the current president, which is Kim. Last name is Kim, and it says
that's
so.
Like 60% of the people.
The most popular. It's the Smith of Korea, right, or Lee of China.
Yeah.
So everyone named Kim was made to change their names. So now we have another generation of. You know what? That's good for the Shins and the Chungs out there. That's what I gotta say.
I guess so, but there will be a lot of imposters of the Shins and the Chungs.
Yes, they're not gonna be. They're gonna be the mudbloods.
Wait, hold on. So everyone with the last name Kim had to change their name?
I don't know. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah,
this website is accurately depicting that.
I would definitely question that. I know for a fact, I remember for a fact that anyone with the name Kim Jong-un had to change their name.
Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just like Chung-un if you have like the name Chung-un.
Yeah, Chung-un, right.
But either way, if any way your name resembles that of the great leader, you got to be going to that courthouse, update your driver's license and your birth certificate right away.
Right away.
Okay. A lot of these are like, okay, one last one, and then we're gonna move to the even more bizarre. If you can imagine it, there's more bizarre. I've saved the bizarre ones.
There are levels to this, guys.
Yes, this is level. This is just the accepted. I understand.
Is 101.
These, and then it gets to another. But here, one more for the regular level. Okay.
Okay.
Sunday is Collective Labor Day. Do you know about this?
Oh, I think I heard.
Okay.
About that, yeah.
There's the twist. There's always a twist.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Like it sounds like I'm setting up for a joke right now. Like I'm saying, Sunday's Labor Day. Yeah, we all work on Sunday. That's a good thing.
Public service.
Yes. National pride. Let's work.
Yeah.
But all cleaning is done by hands and tools are not allowed.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
It's like, for Christians, the Sabbath, it's like the opposite of the Sabbath.
It is opposite Sabbath. It's like you have to work today.
And not only do you have to work, you have to use your bare hands and knuckles.
Put that Swiffer away. Now. Get it out of here. Don't reload it. Just get on your hands and knees.
You're using your forearm instead of your Swiffer
Use your hair.
on Sunday.
Yes. No vacuums. Don't let that robot vacuum out of there.
No. You're flipping your kid upside down and mopping the floor with her hair.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and again, I'm speculating. Okay, I'm always speculating here. Okay, so if you ever want to check these for yourself, or you live in a place where you know a lot about North Korea, please let us know otherwise. But this is what I've gathered, at least so far. All right, you ready for the bizarre ones?
Yeah.
So that was the regular one, the understandable ones here. Okay, now it gets a little up there. Sorry, Mike. I'm gonna have to send you a couple more links here that I want you to put up. But let's start with my favorite. Let's start off with a great one. And you know about this. I think you told me about this at one point. There are government-approved haircuts, a.k.a. hairstyles.
Yeah.
That if you do not fall in line with the pre-approved government hairstyles, Mike, can you zoom in on that for us? Because it's really small on our screen. All right, so there are in total 28 government-approved haircuts, 18 for women, 10 for men. I like that they gave a little more extra options for the ladies.
For the ladies, yeah.
All other hairstyles are prohibited.
Yeah.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, he actually introduced this law in 2013 and did not include his hairstyle on the list.
Wow.
So technically, dude's breaking the law, but since he wrote the law, all power to him, I guess, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, look at these dudes' haircuts. All right, so if you guys ever just Google this, North Korean approved haircuts, men or women, we're looking at the dudes right now. Here are it says 10, but they're like 15 in this picture, so I don't know if this is older.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these look exactly the same, though. There's not much, the way I look right now, no way. I'm going to get a haircut. Someone's going to force me to get a haircut.
I kind of look like the upper right, though.
It is. He does. He's got a high fade. He's got a high fade with a little short trim.
Or
that's
the
not
middle
bad.
guy, too. It kind of look like him.
You know what? Some of these are not bad. They just remind me of every other Korean person that I usually have met here in Chicago growing up. Or all our hairstyles were at some point look like this.
Yeah.
But it was just usually, well, this is a little more modern and stylish. I was actually expecting a little more bowl cut-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Except, you know what's encouraging? The bald dude.
They,
the bottom
they allow they're making allowances for the bald guy with one allowed haircut for the balding guy.
Male pattern baldness guy who struggles with the top crop over there.
But he's got a nice smile on his face.
He does. He's got a good cut. Yeah. I'll be honest. He looks clean there. Yeah. But to be I'm really trying to understand the differences from some of these cuts. Like, I see really only 3 styles here, not 10. I'm gonna be honest.
I see like different faces, like different looking faces. But
like your hairstyle, surprisingly, your hairstyle shows up about 5 or 6 times in this graph, Dan.
Well, where do you think I got it?
Yeah, okay. You gotta, you have really given yourself to this mission and these people. So, including, you would be safe.
Yeah, I think I could blend right in.
I would not. To be honest, I would pick the male pattern baldness and just cut out the middle top of my head and just go for it and be like, hey, this is on the list.
This is on the list.
Even though I don't look that old, I'm on the list. All right, let's look at the ladies one. Ladies is similar. Ladies doesn't look as modern for sure.
Yeah.
This is like back in the 90s still. Some of them 80s, like number 10 right there.
Yeah.
That's like an 80s
Number
cut.
14 looks like straight out of the 50s.
That's true.
Like
Some
even
of them
like
are,
the picture itself. It looks like
they just kept it. They just like kept cutting it out and photoshopping it into the next iteration.
The next generation.
Yeah.
This one.
They took the best of every decade. That's what they did. They're like, you know what? We
hits.
really like this haircut for the ladies in the 50s, so we're going to let this be allowed.
Yeah.
But, the unfortunate thing is it's not really any modern. Maybe number 2. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's basically a bob.
Why do we get to see the back of number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
Well, I guess number 8, too.
You know what? There's like a small picture next to it, too. I don't know if that's like...
The front view.
Yeah. But unfortunately, ladies... you're stuck with looking like my mom from 1990, or potentially Kevin Bacon from like Footloose. Those are the 2.
This is the
major options.
This is the second Footloose reference.
Oh, no, that's right. That's
by
true.
the way.
You know what? I haven't even fully watched that movie.
I don't think I've ever seen Footloose. I know what it's about.
I may have watched it. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, enough of Footloose. I'm not gonna bring that up again. All right, we got a lot more laws to go through. So
yeah.
Start with it. All right, so here's some. Okay, thank you for that. Here's some ones that just don't make sense to me, but okay. Students are required to pay for their own desks and chairs.
Yeah.
Or bring their own desks and chairs to school.
I mean, so it's even worse than that, actually. And from the interviews that we've conducted, so education is technically free in North Korea, right? And that's what they tout, that's what they brag about. But like I said in previous podcasts, a teaching job is public, right?
Yep.
It is a government job, just like in the U.S. So if the government is broke, they're not making that much money. It is a calling even for North Koreans. So, but they do it the North Korean style, where they will not teach your child if you haven't given them some money, right? So they could show up to class, they'll be sitting in the building, but the individual attention will be completely cut out unless they pay. So North Koreans,
So it's
again,
not free.
so it's definitely not free. It's definitely not free.
Is that like a thing that the teachers are doing because they're just trying to they're just not getting paid, so they're just trying to make side cash here?
Exactly.
Okay. And so part of that is you got to bring your own materials, not just pencils and school supplies, but like desks and chairs, somewhere to sit.
Exactly. Yeah.
You literally have to bring your own seat to the table and your table.
But okay,
to your own table.
what happens to those seat? I guess they take the seats and desks back at the end of the year. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, end of school year, cleaning out your lockers. You need a pickup truck. Mom, bring the pickup truck because I've got to bring my furniture back with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So that one is obviously sad and bizarre. Their calendar is different.
Mm-hmm.
It starts, their beginning of time starts on April 15th, 1912. That is when the calendar starts.
Do you know why?
And that is, the birth of Kim Il-sung,
right.
the revolutionary leader.
Mm-hmm.
So their calendar year started in 1912.
Yeah.
Which, that makes sense. Obviously, that's when Korea became an independent nation North Korea did rather in the 50s? 50s, I think?
North Korea became North Korea right after the Korean War. So, yeah, in the 50s.
50s, yeah. But they backdated, apparently, to
No,
1912.
that's his birthday.
I know, but to his birthday.
Yeah.
They backdated it.
History, yeah.
Time started when he started.
When he started.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
This one we kind of touched upon. I just thought this is not bizarre. I guess this belongs to the other category. But no jeans. We ain't having blue jeans here. Just no jeans.
I guess
straight up, no jeans.
It's probably just too Western, right?
There's more clothing restrictions, but I just thought that was funny how it sounded. Just no jeans.
That's a very straightforward rule.
Any kind, no jeans.
Yeah.
This is a bizarre one. Mothers are not allowed to give birth if anyone is around and must go into labor alone.
Wow.
Have you heard of this?
No. I've not
So
heard
this
of
is so weird that I don't know. I think it's real, or maybe it comes from some truth. It says they're not allowed. It gets even more bizarre. They're not allowed to meet their family or even husband for a week after giving birth. If triplets are born, here comes the but and the add-ons here. If triplets are born,
21 days.
they're given to the state. Nope.
What?
As there are reported concerns over low birth rates in North Korea, and return after reaching 4 years of age.
Oh my gosh.
Not 21 days, 4 years. If you're unfortunate
What do they
enough
do
to have
with
triplets.
their kids during that time?
You would know better than I do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
Wow.
these poor women and mothers.
Yeah, being separated from your baby.
Not only that, everyone else in the world apparently. You got to do it alone.
Yeah, that
You have to be alone. You can't even be around your family, your husband, no one.
yeah.
Ugh. Well,
that's terrible.
it is terrible and bizarre. I don't know. What is the reason for that? Even I can't. What would you speculate? What's the reason for that?
Every country has their own beliefs on birth and things like that.
Sure.
It wasn't very long ago in the U.S. where men weren't allowed in the operating room. I'm guessing that it stems from some sort of belief that they have or some tradition or custom.
No
I don't know.
speculation on what that custom or belief might be.
I don't know. I mean, Koreans, right? My wife had seaweed soup after the birth of all three of our kids.
South Koreans also have some bizarre laws.
Yeah.
This is true.
Very like
the fan on the face overnight.
Oh, yeah. The fan on the face.
You cannot have a fan on your face overnight, else
you're gonna die. You will
die.
You
Not
will
by
die.
anti-aircraft weapons, just by the air of coming into your lungs.
Yeah.
false air coming into your lungs.
Yeah, my cousin, who is a physician, right? To this day, he knows that it's wrong, but he can't turn a fan on. Like, it is so ingrained in him.
At night?
At night, yeah. It's why is it just at night too?
Yeah. Well, you can't control your air when you're not when you're
true.
unconscious,
Like, I
or
think,
what the fan does to you when it
Yeah.
attacks you.
I think they believe it's like a pressure thing. It creates some sort of pressure. I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay, so we're now we have a point of connection to the North Koreans brothers and sisters who have to endure this. At least it's not a law, the fan thing. This is a law.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and okay, we're gonna finish off on a more higher or lighter one.
Okay.
Which you and I have talked about also, is a sport we dearly love.
Oh yes.
And our dear leader loves as well, is the basketball rules. Okay. And I don't know if this is a law or if it's just a rules for how it'd be ridiculous if it was a law, like you have to play basketball in this way, the North Korean way.
But the thing is, anything the dear leader says, if you don't follow it,
That's true. It is a law then. So you can get
basically a
anti-aircraft
law.
if you don't play basketball this way. Okay. So here are the rules of North Korean style basketball, okay? For all my hoopers out there.
Yeah.
When you get into that pickup game in Pyongyang, make sure you know these rules, okay?
Do not diverge from.
First of all, if you're a blessed Korean that could jump this high, a slam dunk is worth 3 points instead of 2.
3
So that's
points.
the anti-Steph Curry right there. You just get in there and you slam a jamma, 3 points. LeBron loves that rule.
LeBron, Dominique Wilkins.
3-point shots can be worth 3 points, but if the ball only touches the net and not the rim, if you get a swish, 4 points.
That's the Steph
Curry.
That is the Steph
That's
Curry.
the Steph advantage right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cool one. In the last 3 seconds of a game, field goals are worth 8 points instead of 2. 8 points instead of 2.
See,
That is my favorite rule of the entire rule system here. They just overdrive that 30-point deficit, and you're like, okay, anyone's game now. Anyone's game. Whoever wants it more is going to get it because you get 8 points.
that is North Korea right there. Whoever wants it more. That's the story of
Or
North
it's more like,
Korea.
that's a rule of like the bratty kid, like I'm losing so bad.
Yeah,
I'm going to change the rules to give myself a comeback.
I mean, I could see my kids, if I told them about these rules, they would institute it in our household right now.
I think you need to do it. You need to like videotape them playing by these rules and just see what happens. How does the dynamic change? Does the younger one have an upper edge now? Right? What changes in the game? Because I think some of these are marvelous rules.
Oh my
Well, there's a couple
gosh.
more. Hold on.
Yeah.
If a player misses a free throw, points are deducted. That is ingenious. I would love that, actually.
Punitive rules. That's very North Korean, by the way. The punitive nature of things that they could actually. No, you thought you had a point. Sorry.
This is no longer a free throw. This is a penalty throw.
And I'm sure if you had 0 points, they'd give you negative.
Yeah.
They'd give you -1.
Well, okay, so there's that, but then
Okay.
a game can also end in a tie,
Mm.
which is a very, the
Well,
last 3 seconds of the game, no one hit the 8-pointer, we're tied.
yeah, it's again, the Korean War never ended. It's a stalemate to this day. It's sort of unresolved, just like these basketball games. And maybe that's what Kim Jong-un wanted to depict. It's the struggle on the peninsula. The struggle on the peninsula,
But that just means that he thinks he's not going to win. Some might think that's a sign of weakness,
Maybe.
but not when you got anti-aircraft guns pointing at them and waiting for them.
Crazy.
All right, what are the laws you think in North Korea? Obviously not without the punishment, the same punishment with our standards for punishment would fly here.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously, we would adopt that basketball game in a heartbeat. Like that's just a no-brainer. NBA, are you
If it were
listening?
up to
Are you listening?
Sug
You want
and
to
Dan,
boost your viewership?
yeah,
Incorporate some of these NK rules.
NK rules, or make that like the rules for the All-Star game. I think that would be so fun to watch.
Why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
hilarious.
That would be so funny.
Okay, but what about real laws?
Okay, so the hair thing, right?
Hmm.
Like during the Trump administration, if you had to have his haircut, I think that would have been awesome.
Like he forced you to get that haircut?
Yeah.
That hairstyle?
If everyone had that haircut,
Like the floppy.
yeah, whatever that is called, I think that would have been amazing.
And his tan.
And his tan. Unfortunately, sometimes I have that tan.
I would not do well with
In
the
the
haircut
summer.
one. I wouldn't want to see that one come in
All right,
at all.
well, what
I kind
about
of
you?
feel like for a lot of like public schools, the chair desk thing is not far away. Coming in with your own chair and desk, it's
Yeah.
not far away. You know what? Not exactly, but something about the no jeans.
Yeah.
Just, I don't want to make too many comments on style and fashion. Everyone
Yeah.
has a right to where they want, but sometimes when I walk around, I feel like I need a law to curb some expectations.
Oh, really? What's wrong with my jeans? I mean, what's wrong with jeans? I'm
No,
just
not jeans. I'm just saying that they're onto
Oh,
some,
just
they're onto something
like
there.
fashion.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I hear you, man.
like pleats, khaki pleats. Maybe we just need to get rid of those
Yeah.
altogether. But fashion is cyclical.
It is cyclical though. Like
And pleats one day will be relevant again.
I'm sure that it's coming back.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying
ple-
I could see that one. Okay, here's another one. I can see. Cutting the power. Forcing everyone to cut the power at night.
Oh, what about cut internet access?
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, power gets it all.
Yeah, that's true.
You cut the power, everything, that modem's going down.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I
thank
mean? Maybe we'll save the environment if we do that. Cut the power at it won't be ridiculous. Cut it at midnight.
Yeah.
Cut it at midnight, turn it on at 5 a.m. 5 hours, you know how much energy and resources we might save? And
Yeah.
that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
Everyone's sleeping.
What about like on the roads?
I guess your
street
AC
light?
would be off and your heat would
Yeah,
be off,
that's
but
true.
we can just endure it. We're Koreans. We
Yeah.
had to do that anyway. growing up.
Because the fan.
What AC?
We couldn't even turn the fan on.
It won't be on. It won't be on.
There's no risk
Problem
of that.
solved.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That is an interesting one. The power. Yeah, one thing that North Koreans actually miss about North Korea is the dark.
Huh.
Because they feel like they can't sleep outside of North Korea.
Interesting. I
Right?
mean, I can see that.
Yeah, totally.
It's peaceful. You ever gone if you ever gone camping in a no light area, or even
Yes.
obviously broad Africa, some of those places where there's not as electrical grid, it is very peaceful.
Is
You
it?
got the sky,
Yeah.
just the stars, or no light pollution.
No
It's
light
just pitch
pollution.
black.
It's
It
just
is nice.
pitch black, and that's what they miss. Because
Huh.
everything in Korea has some sort of light on it, and
Yes.
it drives them crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can see that being a good. I go back to my point. I think we need to do this.
I'm sure you sleep so much better with, even our power strips are lit, right?
Yeah.
You just can't avoid it. I wonder what that would do to people.
Well, people are buying out, all the blackout curtains now, and
That's right.
and doing the masks and everything, and
Right.
here we go.
Yeah. Just.
Maybe we'll
Just-
find something we enjoy in life by following this one law that,
Yeah.
amongst many others, and then we'll.
And on top of that, nightclubs would be eliminated, so no kids would be able to, get in trouble for lending their friend an ID, and get their driving privileges revoked for 2 years. For example.
Just out of there.
Just made that up. I'm just riffing here.
He forgives you. He does. He's not holding it against
We're still
you.
friends. We're still
Mhm.
friends. You know who you are.
Hey listeners, if you're enjoying the podcast or becoming more interested in North Korea, or maybe you're just feeling generous right now, please leave us a review and share it with your people. It'll help us to continue to grow this show and spread awareness about North Korean refugees and all that is going on over there. And it'll also help prove to my Amma that my career choices were right.